So, first of all, I think that indeed dialogue is necessary at every level. And we should start with our neighborhood, and indeed, even in metropolis, we have to have engagement of every stakeholder. In Riga, when designing our environment and energy policies, we started with setting up the most ambitious scientific committee with the most excellent researchers in various fields in the country, and then we established the unit within the municipality, and then we had all the energy producers, the companies that work for energy efficiency or renewable energy introduction. Then we got the stakeholders that represent citizens, the inhabitants of the city, both who own the house or who rent the houses, or also the various groups of citizens, like women groups, for instance. And then we got the fantastic city councillors to take the questions forward, to design the policies that are necessary for our city. So I think that the future lies in a structured dialogue, not too many partners, but very good dialogue. I also think that industry is indeed very, very important, and not only the profit should drive our world forward.
My name is Inete, and I am a board member for Riga Energy Agency. And Riga Energy Agency is the first Latvian energy agency, and its aim is to coordinate the municipal policies and monitor implementation. Riga is the capital of Latvia. Latvia has only 2.3 million inhabitants, and the third part live in Riga. Riga is a beautiful city. It's more than 800 years old, and more than 3,000 buildings, parks, small forms of architecture are inscribed in World Heritage List. So we are having a lot to preserve. Riga is the first capital who signed European Convenant of Mayors. That is an initiative of mayors of European cities, and it is supported by European Commission. And 1.5 years ago, in Brussels, there were more than 300 mayors meeting and signing up more than their governments did. They go beyond government commitments to fight against climate change, and the mayors committed by the year 2020 to preserve more than 20% of energy in their cities and introduce at least 20% of renewable resources in the cities. Yesterday, I looked on the internet, being here in Taipei County, and you know, the number of mayors who signed the covenant at the moment is 2,107. It's a big initiative, and I think it's very, very important. And it's supported by people, and in Riga it is also supported by people, by groups of inhabitants, by women's groups, by groups of professionals, by businesses. That city takes a very strong stand in preserving environment and fighting climate change. We are at the good point now. We will preserve more than 43% of the energy, looking back to the year for which we account CO2 emissions, and this year is 1992. So, we try to engage citizens because it depends really very much how households behave. And we try to help through municipal institutions and through the channels how we can reach people, and the forums which we organize, and seminars for local people, for the people who represent the house owners or the apartment renters, to give them the most advanced information about the most advanced technologies they can use, to help them to choose the appropriate technologies, and also to channel information what funding is available at the national level for energy efficiency. And last but not least, we are having the very big plans to create a revolving fund in order to have very effective retrofitting of houses. The municipality will be setting up the fund from which the companies and inhabitants could borrow the money and pay back through their utility bills, and that the companies will be retrofitting the houses, they will be certified, and they will do the proper job in order to keep the costs for electricity and heating, which is very important in Latvia, unlike in Taipei County. It is very important for us that the bills are smaller for the people. It's totally new, because in our plan we are as ambitious that we plan that we have to change, and we have to influence the change in national legislation in order to allow us to set this revolving fund. We also have foreseen some other changes that are necessary to do, and due to the very serious scientific engagement in Riga Energy Agency's work, namely, we have the most recognized scientific advisory board in the country. It was created even before the energy agency was created, because Riga City felt that in the time where we have to provide about 700,000 people with electricity, heating, and other public services, we really have to consider the ways how city invests its money, because city is one of the shareholders in Riga Heating Company, for instance, and so on. Just a couple of years ago, when we were creating Riga Energy Agency, we decided to enlarge this board, and we don't have only engineering and technical expertise here, but also economic expertise and the international project development, because it is very important to use international funding for the big projects. So we look at different objects of infrastructure where we do need internationally borrowed money from big banks, and it is, of course, negotiation.